Hi on M-Rock and welcome to Alex Koehler from Chelsea Grin.
Hello, M-Rock.
How are you doing?
I'm really good, man.
Okay. So your last name sounds a little bit like German. Do you have any familiar connections to Germany?
Yeah, my family is has a lot of German background, especially on my father's side. We're all very German, so.
Okay. Do you speak any German?
I wish. I have a pretty funny story about that, actually. I took German for 3 years in high school, but it was one of the classes that I kind of wouldn't go to. And funny thing is, I wouldn't go to or I'd skip because I'd go and like band practice and stuff.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, too, like in the back of my head at that time, I was like, why do I need this class? I'm never going to go to Germany anyway. And here I am here for like the 6th time, and I'm regretting it fully. So
okay, it doesn't matter. We can do this interview in English.
Don't skip classes, kids.
Yeah, very important.
Stay in school.
Your new album is out called Self-Inflicted. Your vocals on this record are very diversified. There are screams and shouts and some gentle parts and even some singing. Was that the concept to create a huge variety of vocals?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, every time I go into the studio, I try to push myself to new boundaries. I try to, and also like, since I've always been self-taught with my vocals, I've never had any lessons or anything. I've always been trying to find what my real voice is, and I feel like our last couple records, like from, Evolve to now, that I've like, finally found comfortable, with my range and stuff like that. And, on this album, I wanted to try a little something different here and there. And, it's always fun, as a musician, you always want to push yourself and see how far you can go, so.
Can you tell us something about the songwriting process of this album? You said in a previous interview that the songwriting always ends up in a fight in the early days of the band. Is it better?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. In the early days of the band, we would just, like, we'd all get together at, like, a practice space, and we just sit there and, like, try to write songs, and it'd always be like, no, that part sucks, but this part rules, and the other half would be like, no, that part's great, and it's just like, it was just like a really bad way to go about it. Now, like, obviously with technology too, like like Pablo will like write something and show it to us, and we'll be like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then kind of like say like, what if we do this here, and it's a little more of a peaceful process. And same thing like Steven will like write something on his own, and like we'd be like, yeah, cool, and then I'll just, once the song is finally like decided and how it's supposed to be, like I'll write all the vocals and bam, it's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it must be difficult, the songwriting with 3 guitar players. But why do you have so many guitars?
Oh, it was just a thing, man. Like when we were younger, we just wanted to be heavy, and and we're like, why not have a 3rd guitar player? So it was just kind of, there wasn't really like it was basically because we just wanted to be really heavy. That's pretty much it.
Okay, it just happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so today is the last day of the European tour. There's a tradition that the bands always play pranks to the other bands.
Yeah.
Did you arrange something for tonight?
I mean, we're not the most pranky band, but there might be some things in store for tonight. We'll see.
Okay, so it's a secret.
Yeah. I mean, mostly like what we've done on tours. Like for example, our drummer Pablo just did a song with Void of Vision. I've noticed that like near the end of the tour, like the last day of tour, like a lot of different members do like mashups and like features and stuff like that. So.
Okay, cool. You have been asked a few years ago about the last 5 records that you bought. And the answer was a little bit surprising. There was Lana Del Rey and The Weeknd and some pop and R&B music. So you're listening to many different styles, not only metal.
Yeah, totally. I listen. I mean, I love metal for sure, but I listen to a very wide variety of genres and stuff like that. I play metal like every day, and I'm around it so much, so sometimes it's nice to listen to some like relaxing, like kind of softer, stuff. So that's why I like the R&B and you know, like a lot of hip hop and stuff like that. So
Okay, and you also take some inspiration of other music styles like R&B?
yeah, totally. Like especially with like song structure and like, you know, like the whole like hooky chorusy stuff. You know, like the way I write, like my vocal patterns and like the quote unquote hooks. I always try to think of like those kind of things. So
Okay.
yeah.
So death metal and deathcore was a very small subgenre 20 years ago. Now there are millions of fans worldwide.
Yeah.
What's the reason for that? What do you think?
I mean, it's just I think people like those fans who liked metal, you know, always liked the like really aggressive part of it, you know, and once it started getting more aggressive, like that's like, you know, drew those kind of people that just wanted to hear something like harder and heavier, you know. So
yeah.
as that grew, like, you know, sort of the genre and sort of the fan base. So
Okay. Your hometown Seattle, your hometown Salt Lake City.
close.
It's not very famous for its metal band. Is there a real music scene, or is it just a couple of bands?
Salt Lake City has a great underground music scene, like you know, like a whole like punk, hardcore, metal, like with it's definitely there, you know. I think the one of the things is it's just hard to get out of Salt Lake, you know.
Yeah, because very few bands come over here to Europe. So.
Yeah. I think it's just hard to get your music past, because I feel like when people hear that you're from Salt Lake City or Utah, they automatically connect you to like the whole religious based stuff and kind of don't really give you a chance or whatever. I don't know what it is really, because we really do have a great music scene. So
what are your plans for the future? You're coming over to Europe again, play some festivals?
Yeah, we're going to be over here again later this year to play a bunch of festivals, and you know, we had such a great time on this tour, and like we have such a great time coming out to Europe that you know, we want to come out more than we have. Like we want to come out more frequently. So lots of plans for the future.
Okay, you have been to many European countries, played many shows. What was your favorite show or your favorite country?
Oh wow!
You don't have to say Germany, because we're in Munich.
I mean, it's crazy. Like we've played so many shows on this tour that already like my brain is kind of jumbled. Like I know I can't think of one specifically, but there's like a lot of shows on this tour that were really good, and there's quite a few that were like a little better than the rest, but I have to look at my tour pass real quick to remember it, just because we played some. But like once I saw it, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that was awesome. That was, you know, like, but I mean, this whole tour has been great, and we really do love Germany though, honestly. Like and you know, me being German too, you know, obviously I love coming over here and, you know, kind of seeing, you know, like the culture out here and stuff. So
okay, thank you very much for this interview. All the best to you. This was Alex from Chelsea Grin on M Rock.